Learn to detach from people and situations with Warren Buffett's wisdom. Warren Buffett built one of history's great fortunes without much help from his raw intelligence alone. He has said many times that investing success has little to do with IQ. It comes down to temperament, the quiet discipline of refusing to let outside noise dictate your mood. That discipline reaches far past the stock market. The way Buffett stays calm while prices move up and down is the same way a person can stay calm when those around them have mood swings. Below are 5 lessons from his approach, each one useful long after the market closes for the day. 1. Stop letting the market direct your mood. The most important quality for an investor is temperament, not intellect. You need a temperament that derives no great pleasure from being with the crowd or against the crowd. Warren Buffett. He watched the market swing on fear and greed long enough to learn that reacting to every swing is a losing habit. A trader or investor who feels each price move with internal stress will burn out long before one who watches the numbers with a non-attached interest. Too many traders and investors behave the same way the market does. Some days they're warm and friendly. Other days they're rude or emotionally distant for reasons that have nothing to do with you at all. Soak up every mood around you as a verdict on your worth, and you hand your peace to forces outside your control. This habit takes practice because the brain reacts first and thinks second. A coworker snaps at you in a meeting and your body responds before your mind catches up. Tight chest, racing thoughts, the urge to snap back. Buffett's version of patience comes from decades of watching prices crash and recover without flinching either way. 2. Ignore the noise of the crowd. Be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Warren Buffett. People usually quote this line to describe contrarian investing. It's really a statement about thinking for yourself. When the group you are in panics, your gut pushes you to panic with it, even when the panic has shaky reasoning underneath it. Buffett spent a career resisting that pull. He looked at the numbers in front of him instead of the emotional temperature of the room, and he let the numbers make his decisions. Try the same thing the next time a situation feels emotional. Step back and ask what's actually true, separate emotionally from what everyone else happens to feel. Crowds move fast and loud, which makes them feel correct even when they aren't. A family argument can spread the same way a market panic does, one raised voice followed by another, until everyone reacts to the reaction instead of the original issue. Pulling yourself out of that cycle for even 10 seconds is usually enough to see things clearly again. 3. Protect your space by saying no. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Warren Buffett. He guards his time the way most people guard money. A large part of his success came from turning down distractions that would have pulled him off course. Detachment often starts with one short word. You don't owe your evening to every argument you get invited into. You don't owe your energy to a relationship that drains you a little more each time you show up for it. Saying no isn't cold. It's how you keep enough time and energy left over for the people and the work that actually deserve it. Most people say yes out of habit rather than desire. A favor here, an obligation there, until the calendar and the mind are both full of things nobody actually chose. Buffett's calendar famously stayed open for years at a time, not because he was idle, but because space let him think clearly about the few decisions that mattered. 4. Play in your own circle of competence. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Warren Buffett. He and his longtime partner, Charlie Munger, built an entire investment philosophy on staying inside what they called a circle of competence. They focused on businesses they understood deeply and avoided the rest, no matter how exciting those other businesses looked from a distance. The same rule works on worry. People spend hours stewing over things they can't touch. A coworker's opinion, a stranger's comment, an outcome decided somewhere far above their pay grade. Ask yourself plainly whether a situation sits inside your circle of control. If it doesn't, let it go. Carrying weight you didn't create and can't move is wasted effort. Knowing the edges of your own circle takes honesty that most people avoid. It means admitting you do not influence a relative's choices or a manager's mood, and that admitting this isn't a weakness. Buffett applied that refusal to accept false control toward his portfolio, and it kept him out of businesses he didn't understand for an entire career. 5. Let time do the work instead of your emotions. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Warren Buffett. Patience shows up everywhere in his philosophy, not only in his investing, but also in how he treats relationships and setbacks. He has spent decades treating short-term pain as background noise rather than a verdict on the future. Most emotional reactions feel urgent in the moment and forgettable a month later. An argument that felt unbearable on a Tuesday is often barely remembered by the following Tuesday. Buffett built his fortune by holding through decades of downturns that felt catastrophic at the time, but look small from a distance now. Ask whether the feeling in front of you will matter in a year, and let that answer guide how much attention it deserves today. Conclusion: I measure success by how many people love me. Warren Buffett. This line says something about the man behind the fortune. Decades of tuning out the crowd didn't turn him cold or indifferent toward the people around him. Detachment in his world was never about shutting people out. It was about refusing to let other people's moods or the roar of a crowd set his internal compass. He built his life around an inner scorecard rather than an outer one, measuring himself against his own standards rather than applause or criticism from a room that would forget both by morning. You can borrow this framework for free. Notice when a coworker's bad mood is trying to become your bad mood, and choose not to let it cross over. Question whether a panic is built on facts or just on fear, then trust your own reasoning when the facts back you up. Say no to what drains you so there's room left for what doesn't. Give hard feelings the same patience Buffett gives a falling stock with great fundamentals, and let time show you which ones were worth the worry. For more about your personal development, consider to subscribe and hit the notification bell.